30 pieces of silver, O Judas, what have you done? For 30 pieces of silver, you gave up God's own Son. You joined him at the table. He looked you in the eye. You took the bread that he offered, then gave him up to die. For 30 pieces of silver, O Judas, what did you gain? For 30 pieces of silver, a perfect lamb was slain. You joined him at the table. He looked you in the eye. You drank the wine he offered, then gave him up to die. For 30 pieces of silver, O Judas, what have you lost? For 30 pieces of silver, you never counted the cost. You joined him at the table. He looked you in the eye. For 30 pieces of silver, you gave him up to die. You gave him up to die.
Jesus stood before the Roman governor as the accusers made their charge. "We found this man perverting our nation," they said. "He was forbidding us to pay taxes to the emperor and proclaiming him the anointed king." The governor asked, "Are you the king of Jews?" Jesus answered, "You say so." The chief priests were accusing him of many things. Therefore Pilate again spoke to Jesus. "Have you no answer to give?" he asked. "Look at how many accusations they are making." Jesus astonished Pilate by remaining silent. At that festival, the governor used to release a prisoner, and some were urging Pilate to do so at this time. Now there was a notable rebel in prison with those who had committed murder during the insurrection. His name was Jesus Barabbas. Therefore, the chief priests arranged a demonstration to demand Barabbas. Pilate asked them, "Whom do you want me to release for you, Jesus Barabbas or Jesus the Anointed One?" The demonstrators shouted, "Barabbas!" Pilate responded, "What shall I do then with Jesus the Anointed One?" The crowd shouted, "Crucify him!" Pilate continued, "Are you certain of his guilt?" The crowd took up the chant, "Crucify him! Crucify him! Crucify him!" Again Pilate spoke, "Shall I crucify your king?" "We have no king but Caesar," cried the demonstrators. Then Pilate agreed to release Jesus Barabbas, but Jesus the Anointed One he handed over to his soldiers for scourging and crucifixion.
Since that blessed night in the manger, she watched her baby grow. Seems like only yesterday he was in her arms. Where did the time go? He learned his father's trade as she marveled at it all. The sweat dropped from her little carpenter as he made the timbers fall. She can hear the Jerusalem, a child can disappear. She was frantic as she looked for him until she began to hear hammers up at the temple. She called him as she ran. Surprised, she found him teaching like no ordinary man. She can hear the driving nails upon the hillside, and she prays that his spirit will not fail. She watches as her young man undertakes his father's will, and she stands and listens to the driving nails. Darkness covered all the land in the middle of the day. She began to tremble as the earth began to quake. Hammers, nails, and timbers of the carpenter's trade made the song that pierced her soul as the cross was being raised. She can hear the driving nails upon the hillside, and she prays that his spirit will not fail. She watches as her young man undertakes his father's will, as she stands and listens to the driving nails, and she cries and listens to the driving nails.
The soldiers led Jesus away within the governor's palace. There they assembled the whole battalion. They clothed Jesus in royal purple. They set a crown of thorns upon his head and shoved a reed between his fingers for the scepter. They began to mock him by kneeling before him and proclaiming, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They also spat upon him and smote him in the head with a stick. Then after mocking him, they took away the purple, returned his own clothes, and brought him out to crucify him. As they led him away, they seized Simon of Cyrene, from Cyrene, who was on his way in from the country, and put the cross on him and made him carry it behind Jesus. A large number of people followed him, including women who mourned and wailed for him. Jesus turned and said to them, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me. Weep for yourselves and for your children. For the time will come when you will say, 'Blessed are the barren women, the wombs that never bore and the breasts that never nursed.' Then they will say to the mountains, 'Fall on us,' and to the hills, 'Cover us.' For if men do these things when the tree is green, what will happen when it is dry?"